All right, so let me just list out the topics, what we are going to discuss. In this, we are going to start off with getting started with your GST with a reference to services. GST with reference to services. Let us have some briefing and understanding about services. Okay. So, all right. Now, whenever we perform any purchase, okay, whether it's a cash purchase or a credit purchase, okay, what we do is we approach to a vendor, or we go to showroom and place our orders, isn't it? So as a customer, we approach to various resources from where we can get the product that we want to use. Let us assume that we are purchasing a product. So we are going to the showroom, and from there we planned for the product which we are going to purchase. Okay, so let's say the product is like television. So assume we have visited to a mall where we have got the product available. Let's say in Bajaj showroom, we have got this product available. So I can see the product, I can get a look and feel of the product. And as a customer, what I can do is I can approach to the vendor or to the showroom guy, okay, or to the business unit or to the firm to purchase the product. So I'll just say this as, let's say, a showroom. And the target is to purchase a television, TV. So it's not that I can purchase only from showroom. I can purchase that even from online. Okay. Normally, when we go to showroom, we call this as window shopping. Okay. So I can get a look and feel, and I can purchase from there, or I can just see an online video about the product and I can purchase the product. So it can be done in any ways. So as a potential customer, as my intention is to purchase the product for the purpose of using it, no one can stop me. Only thing is like I need some funds. So I'll approach to the showroom or through an online option which is provided, and I'm performing a purchase. So while doing this, what I'll do is I'll just go book the product, or if it is available right now in the showroom, I can place the order and take it to my home directly. Immediately, I can take it home. Or else what happens is like the display units will be different. And whatever product you want to purchase, you have to place an order which is there in the showroom or in a storeroom, or it can be even in a godown, which is locally residing. In the same mall, you can find the godown. Or when you place an order online, they refer to the godown, pick up the product, dispatch it to the customer, okay, through an intermediary who takes care of transportation and all. Okay, so what we are discussing over here is about the product which is available. So the product is picked up and it is being dispatched to you. So every new product which you purchase will be associated with not only the product, it is also associated with services. Okay, every new product will be associated with services. So let us say the television has arrived to your place. You gave him the address, okay, which is called as place of supply. We know this, POS, place of supply. The order is placed, and at the given address, the product is being delivered. Okay, and it is right now lying in your main hall. Okay, it is just lying over there. It is not being fixed on to the wall. It is wall mounted, so you cannot fix it because it is too heavy. So what you do is you expect certain services to be there for the product which has been delivered to you. So what you do is, when you're purchasing the product, a clear instruction is given that you call to so and so number, which is referred as service center. Call them and tell them that you have purchased the product. So some person will call you and take up an appointment and say that we are going to come and do a service. As you have purchased the product newly, we are going to do the service free of cost. So you wait for the person, maybe 1 week pass. After 1 week, you got an appointment with him and you felt that Sunday is the comfortable time so that he can come and fix it. So he came there, he fixed it, and within no time, he is off for his other work. So this is what has happened after you perform the task of purchasing the product. Okay, now, while performing this, there is one component which comes into picture, which is referred as what? Tax, that is GST, Goods and Services Tax. So you don't know up to this point, okay, that there are charges for even services. But as it was promised to you, okay, that it will be given to you for free, you don't have any idea of it. So you paid whatever tax is applicable, and based on the order that you have placed, the product is there at your location. And they also said that the services which are there, they'll be rendered to you free. Okay, they'll be rendered to you free. There is no additional cost involved in it. So you were very happy because it is free installation. You said, okay, fine. This is what has happened. And let us assume that the tax which you have paid is 18% together, that is CGST and SGST. 18% together, that is 9%, 9%, 18% of tax you paid for central and state tax. Okay, so this is the tax what you have paid. There was nothing pertaining to services. So fine, it was done and you have completed the task. Later on, maybe after a year or so, your warranty period has expired. Warranty period has expired. In between, they were maybe 1 or 2 times you called to the service guy to resolve small issues which you came across when you were watching your television. You came across some problems, so those problems were resolved and they did it free because it was in warranty period. Small issues were resolved. So now the warranty period has expired after 1 year, and then you started getting similar sort of problems or problems which are critical problems in your television. So the one who can actually solve your problem, there are 2 people who can solve your problem. Number 1 is the service center, and number 2 is some third person who has got a good knowledge of resolving the problem. That is a technician. So naturally what you do is, as you have purchased the product and you want someone who is authenticated to come and resolve the problem, you approach to the service center. So when you approach to the service center, they simply ask for your bill. They ask for the product code. They ask for the barcode which is beside or behind your television. You provided that and he came to know that your product, okay, your product was purchased 1 year back and you don't have any free services provided by the service center, then what you did is you said, no problem, you can send, and whatever charges are there, I'm going to pay. You accepted that. So they gave a clear instruction that our person is going to visit to you, but for a visit, whether the problem is resolved or not resolved, you have to pay a service charge of 750 rupees. You said, not a problem, let him come and check. So in your convenient time, you called and the person has visited to your place. Okay. On your television, there was a problem. Let us say the display was not proper. Okay. Because of which the picture was not visible at all. It was just a blank screen that was coming. So the service center guy, he said that he just came, he visited, he saw, sir, there is a problem with display. You have to change the internal panel. There will be some lights and circuits which you have to change. But it is going to cost you around 20,000. You have invested in purchasing the product, and the product was costing you around, let's say, 40,000 for 15-inch television. Now, as the problem you came across, he said that around 20,000 would be the service charge or repairing charges, which includes everything, which includes the internal circuit, as well as the LED bulbs or serial bulbs which are there, which got damaged. We are going to replace it in that particular cost. So if you see this, you purchased your product for 40,000 and exactly half of the amount you're paying for the service guy. For what? For resolving the problem. Another 20,000 if you invest, what happens? You'll get a new television. Now the question comes, should I replace the product or should I continue with the product resolving the problem? So budget also plays an important role over here. He says that, sir, you'll get some discount from us, from the service center. We can do it for around 15,000. So if you say, okay, I'll come in the next appointment date and I'm going to resolve the problem. Okay. So he said, fine, not a problem. And once he left, you inquired with other people, like, is it really so costly? You came to know that the product which has got a damage in the display unit would cost you, actually, it will cost you maybe somewhere around, let's say, 8,000. Okay. This is the price which you came to know from some other person. 8,000 would be the price. But the person from service center, he said it's going to be 15,000. 15,000. So if you see here, what he's doing here is he's adding up his own charges in this. That is, it is coming to 15,000 because 7,000 has been added. Now the 7,000 is the one which includes tax. Not only his service charges and other things, which are minimum, the main portion of it would be your tax. And this tax can vary from, 20% to 35%. Okay. 20% to 35% of tax for the services can be rendered. Now, as you are attached to the television, you'll say, no problem, I'll spend 15,000 and you'll go for it. Problem gets resolved. But what happened here is you have shelled out around 20% to 35% of tax, not 8,000, additional of 7,000 you have spent. So just because of emotional attachment to the television, you accept and you pay. For another 1.5 years, there was no problem. Once again, you started getting the similar problem. Again, there is an investment of how much? 15,000 or 20,000, whatever the person accepts. Then again, you have to go for another 15,000. So almost previously you invested around 40,000. Next time 15,000 for repairing, another 15,000 for this next second repair. So you spend almost 70,000 for a duration of 2 years. Okay, so if you just check out the thin layer in between purchase and service, the one who is getting the maximum benefit is the person from service center. Okay, isn't it? Why? Because you purchase your TV only for once, but you pay for the services multiple times as and when you get the problem. Okay, so in the previous session up to this point, we discussed about the tax. Okay, the tax, that is GST, which was applicable for goods. Okay, now what we are talking is about the tax that is pertaining to services. Tax that is pertaining to services. So whether it is goods or whether it is services, who is going to be the final person who is going to pay the tax? It is customer only. Okay, whether it is your tax for goods or whether it is tax for services, finally the person who's going to pay is only customer. He has to pay the tax. Whether it is the tax for goods or whether it is tax for services, he has to pay the tax. Okay, so I've just given you this briefing to understand the importance of tax, which is related with goods as well as to services. Okay, so let me just give you some more briefing about what is that we are going to see in services. Okay, now first thing is, like, when you work with GST, you enable GST. So definitely even here we are going to enable GST. If I'm focusing only on services, okay, I'm talking about services only, enabling GST, that is must. Even when you're doing it for goods, recording transaction for goods, you have to enable GST. Same thing is applicable over here. Okay, then what you do is you perform a task of credit tax, input credit tax, which is there. If you have already collected the tax, I told you that tax has to be transferred to appropriate ledgers, that is sales, your state ledger and central ledger. You have to transfer it. Same thing over here. If you have collected any service tax before registration, that has to be sent appropriately to appropriate ledgers. So similarly, here also we have got that step. Okay, so we register the information about service, we enable the options, just like how you enable GST. Okay, in the same way, you have to enable even services also. Okay, enable services. These two tasks are performed with the help of same function key F11, which stands for features. And function key F3. Okay, function key F3. What does it mean? Just check this. I'm navigating to Tally. Okay, working in educational mode. I'm just showing you where you find the option to enable this. Okay, so I'm pressing function key F11. You can see F11 is not enabled because company is not created. So I'm just going to create a company first. It's a common step. So while creating, I'll just say that this is information pertaining to RK Enterprise. RK Enterprise. Give all the required information and say Control A to save it. My target was just to create a company. I just created that. And as a result of this, the company got created. Okay. So once your company is created, you are allowing Tally, or you're saying that Tally, I want to work with features. Press F11 and press function key F3. F3 is statutory and taxation. That is what we went. And here I'm going to enable GST by saying yes. I'm going to set the option, set and alter GST as yes. It is going to ask me for details. Okay, like state, it is Telangana. Okay, Telangana. Is it a regular business or composition business? Regular business. What is the GSTN number of it? I'm giving you 36 AAA CO 7727 M1Z0. This is what I have already shared in the last class. Okay, I'm just using that GSTN number. It got accepted. Monthly is the option that we have selected for GSTR reports for sales related operations. Monthly reports we are going to say. Okay, and no e-way billing. If you have got, say yes. If no, say no. No e-way billing. Okay, if you have, then you can select it as yes. Whatever. Okay, from the date, let it be the default date because we are working with the educational mode. Let it be the same, and just scroll down, and here we have to configure our GST rate, set as yes. Once you come here, you can find that GST details are not fully appearing. Okay, so is it taxable product? I'll say yes, it is a taxable product which I'm working with. What is the rate and all? I don't want to give it right now here. Press F12 so that you can enable few more options in the screen. F12, first option, allow HSN details. Say yes. Scroll down. What else you want to display? I want to display show GST tax type. I'll say yes. What is tax type? CGST and SGST, which was not displaying. Okay, so I'll say yes. Now I can find we've got CGST, SGST, integrated tax, and even CES is also displayed. So the product what we are dealing here is with television, TV, television. And the HSN number, I'm just giving a random 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I gave that HSN number. Is it taxable or not? Yes, it is taxable. How much is the percentage integrated together? 18% of tax. This is common tax, which I'm focusing on what? On your goods. So 9% is divided. I'll say control A, done. Okay, so I said control A to configure it, and say control A once again to save your GST details. That is how we normally enable our GST. Do you have any other option here? Check this. I just go to yes, cross check. Yeah, it's already there, done. This is done already. Okay, here we went and we have configured this. I said control A to save this, and control A once again. Control A once again to come out of this GST details. If you just check out in the bottom, just hit enter and you can check out in the bottom. Here we have got service tax. You have to set this option to yes. Okay, service tax, set the option to yes. Set and alter GST related details, tax details, say yes. It is asking you for your registered number and some other details. I'm not going to enter here right now anything. Just say control A to save it. And that is how I have enabled my services. Control A once again to save this. Okay, so this process, whatever we have performed here, was to enable your GST as well as to enable your tax that is pertaining to services. Okay, so that was the first step that we did. Here we have enabled statutory and taxation, S and T, statutory and taxation with the help of function F3. Okay, so whatever inputs I have given now, it is just to understand conceptually about services. Okay, tax and enrollment of tax pertaining to services. All right, we have to further discuss about various things like recording the transactions which are associated with intrastate and interstate. Let me repeat, we have discussed about intrastate and interstate. Okay, that is recording the transaction that happened within the state, that is intrastate, and outside the state, in between two states, that is interstate. Okay, that is purchase of goods, purchase return of goods, sales of goods, and sales return of goods. We call it as inward and outward. Okay, intrastate, inward supply of goods, intrastate, outward supply of goods. interstate inward supply of goods, interstate outward supply of goods. That were all related with what? Goods only. Now here we are going to discuss about intrastate inward supply of services, intrastate outward supply of services. Inward means you're receiving, outward means you're giving. Giving what? Services. Okay, similarly, we have got interstate inward supply of service, interstate outward supply of service. Okay, sometimes what happens is like if the customer does not have sufficient fund with him to make the payment, he'll cancel it. So how do you record the cancellation of service? We have to see even that. Okay, so we have to issue a credit note and a debit note. Okay, so how do you deal with credit note and debit note for the cancellation that is performed against your services? We are going to work on that, and we are going to see even the different tax rate that is available at master and transaction level. Okay, as you know, the tax can be implemented at various levels. We have discussed about it in goods. In the same way, we are going to have even in services. Okay, so that is just a briefing about what we are going to get into services. So remember, we have got the transactions which are pertaining to, okay, interstate and intrastate. Okay, so I'll just mention here intrastate inward as well as outward supply of what? Of services. Of services. Similarly, we have got interstate inward as well as outward supply of services. That is nothing but you're rendering the services or taking the services either within the state or outside the state. Okay, so this is the one which we have to discuss in detail. I hope you got the point. We are going to go ahead and perform the task. So I have just shown you today the importance of service tax. I have shown you how the option, that is services, can be enabled. By default, they are not enabled. How do you enable? We have seen that. And after enabling is done, as I told you, you have to transfer input tax credit to GST. Okay, for what? For the services. Okay, previously we have transferred the input tax credit to GST with a reference to goods. But now we are going to do the same task for even services. Okay, so I hope I'm clear with the concept. So further, we have to work on this. And if you have got any doubts up to this point, you can post me so that I can respond to you according to that. All right. Okay, then. So I'm going to stop my session here. In the next session, we'll see further a practical approach to work with your input tax credit. Okay, don't miss the session, which is very, very important. Plus, I'm going to explain you about intrastate and interstate supply of services. Okay, so intrastate and interstate supply of services. I'll be discussing about some scenario. Based on the scenario, I'm going to give you a practical approach and explain you about it. Okay, so once it is done, we are going to generate reports for the services that are being rendered or services that are being received by us. Okay, either we render the service or we receive the service. So how do you prepare a report on that is what we are going to see in detail. And remember that the tax for services can be implemented at various levels. Number one is company level. Number two is accounting group level. Number three is accounting ledger level and transaction level. Okay, this is pertaining to what? Tax pertaining to services. Previously, we have seen about tax pertaining to goods, where we know that tax can be implemented for goods at various levels. Number one, company level, accounting group level, accounting ledger level, inventory group level, inventory item level, and transaction level. There are 6 levels in case of goods because inventory comes into picture. Whereas in case of services, we have got service tax implemented at company level, accounting group, accounting ledger, and transaction level. That is what is the difference in between the tax implementation in goods and in services. Okay, so we are going to see in detail about that when we come across the topic. So that will conclude our session related with services. Then we go with advanced recording entries, okay, where we are going to see like multiple services, okay, outward supply of additional expenses, okay, B2C service, that is business to customer service, B2B also we have. So we are going to see about different types of services that are rendered and how do you extract report with the reference to GSTR 1 and GSTR 2. That will conclude our advanced entries. Okay, so after completion of your advanced entries, we are going to conclude the session with reports. Okay, we are going to conclude the session with reports. So that will end services part, and final adjustments would be your migrating your Tally ERP. What are the options when you want to migrate from old version to new version? Okay, it's nothing but from VAT to SunVat. You have developed all your activities or transactions in VAT, the previous release. Now you want to enhance it with GST enabled Tally. So how do you migrate to other ERP? That is your Tally new version is what will be the final concluding topic. This would hardly take, please listen to me, 2 or 3 maximum sessions. So don't miss the sessions because it will not be repeated. Okay, so in the end, I'm going to give you all the important questions, just like how I have given it for computerized accounting. Okay, fine then. So I'm going to stop here. We'll continue the session in the next, okay, where we are going to see more in detail about these topics. Okay. Okay then. So I'm going to end the session. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.